Jr.
You get the microphone?
I'm just going to go right now, and we're heading out to Arizona. But he's really a terrific guy. I've had a long-term friendship with him. He's a very talented person. It's an honor. He just announced, and it's a great honor. It really is. He's very popular. He's very smart. He has a great family, wonderful family, and so I'm going to say hello to him now.
He says he's going to stay on the ballot in 40 other states. Is that sufficient? Do you think he should try to get off the ballot in all states?
Well, I think they're trying to get off ballot. I mean, we'll see. I mean, they're going to have to work that out.
Mr. President,
I think having his support is...
Mr. President, RFK, his words about your policies and praising your policies, is that to help you with the unaffiliated, like in North Carolina, the independent vote, and the Jewish vote, considering...
Well, I think so. He's just a respected person. Not everybody agrees with everything he says, but that's true with everybody. But he's a very respected person. He's really a very beloved person in many ways. I mean, he's beyond... I think, frankly, if the Democrats had treated him very badly, and then they ended up treating Biden the same way as they treated him, but they treated him very badly. I think if he ran in the Democrat primary, he would have beaten Biden. That's my opinion. But they wouldn't let him run. I mean, they came up with obstacles that were impossible, like you have to have 60% of the vote to run, and they came up with things that were crazy. But they didn't want him running. I think if he would have run in the Democrat primary, I think he would have won. I think he would have beaten Biden.
Mr. Donald Trump, what is your message for DACA program?
Microphones, we can hear you, sir. Fox News has learned that at least 5 agents have been put on leave after what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. As the protectee, I'm just curious, do you feel that disciplinary action is warranted? Are you still able to feel safe with your security needs? And you can answer the microphone.
Look, I have great confidence in the Secret Service. I've been dealing with them a long time. And I will say that I don't know about the 5 or the 6 agents that you're talking about. I think they're from, for the most part, a different area. But I will say that they have learned a lot. And we lost a tremendous person in Corey, as you know. We thought we lost 2 more, and they came back, and they're doing really well. They're doing really well. As you know, we had 2 people that were so horribly injured, nobody thought they could make it. And the doctors up in the area, in the Butler area, these doctors were unbelievable. They saved them. But these 2 were badly injured, and now they're doing well. But a lot's been learned, and it'll make it better, and it'll make it safer. I will say this, that they've never provided us, and I think it came from the White House, they've never provided us with the number of people that we should have had for the massive rallies that we had, like the size of Butler. You saw thousands and thousands of people as far as the eye could see. And I've always said that. I mean, I just felt it. They never gave us the number of people in terms of Secret Service people that were necessary. And yet Biden, who would have 10 people at a rally, was loaded up with Secret Service. So I've complained about that for a long time. They never gave us the number of people necessary. They were working with, and I know requests were made, but they were working for a long time, and a long time without the proper number of people. I've seen that, and just common sense, you could see it. Because we were getting crowds that were, so we had 107,000 people show up in New Jersey, in Wildwood, New Jersey. We had 88,000 people in South Carolina. We never had the number of people that were necessary to protect somebody in that, and including the people themselves. So I think they should probably look at that.
You mentioned rallies.
And that came out of Biden's office.
You mentioned
Mr. President, on the general state of the race, there's a widespread perception that Kamala Harris replacing Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket has thrown you off your game, gotten under your skin. What do you say to that?
No, I think we're doing great. I think we're leading. We just had a Rasmussen poll. We're up by 5. We're doing, I think, very well. What is unfair is that it's unfair to him, but it's also unfair to me. I was leading by 17 or 18 points after the debate, and they said, he's going to lose. And they went and told him, you're going to lose. We want to replace you. Crazy Nancy Pelosi went in with a group with Obama and with others, but they went in with a group and they said, we want you out. And they took him out, and it was a bad thing to do, but also unfair to me. I spent $100 million scholars fighting against the man that won in their party. And we had a debate, and the debate was good for me. It wasn't good for him. And then all of a sudden they take him out and they put somebody new in that never got a vote. She didn't get a single vote. He got 14 million votes. She got none. So I'm running against her. Now we're up in the polls. We're winning on the swing states. But, I've got to beat two people instead of one. That never happened either. So it's not a very fair thing, but I live with it. Yeah, did you have one?
Yeah, do you think the rank and file of the union for the culinary workers are going to peel away from the leadership who endorsed Kamala?
I do. I think they're going to peel away and endorse me. I do. I think the culinary union is going to endorse a lot of the people. A big percentage of the people will endorse me. They always support at the top level, but they've supported me. I've had great support from culinary. Now with the no tax on tips, I think they're going to be very supportive of me. Yeah.
What led you to post about women's reproductive rights this morning? Has your stance on abortion changed?
No, very good. I'm very strong on women's reproductive rights. The IVF, very strong. I mean, we're leaders in it. And I think people are seeing that. And votes are being taken, and that's what they've wanted for years. For 52 years, they've wanted votes to be taken by the states. And they wanted Roe v. Wade to be brought into the states. And it's really happening. It's really happening. We have a situation that for years that whole issue has been tearing our country apart. And now the states will get the vote. And, if you look at many of the states are up right now, and they're getting the vote, and they're getting the vote that the people want. They wanted the vote of the people. And like Ronald Reagan, I've gone through it a lot. But you're going to have choice, and you're going to have different things that you can talk about. But when you get into that issue and reproductive rights, I think what we've done is so right. What the Democrats do, take a look at what they're doing. They have the governor of Minnesota has the right to kill a baby after birth. After birth. This isn't abortion. This is after birth. Because he's got that. And think of it, in Minnesota, he's got that right. And how can you have a right like that? And they're actually the radicals. If you think about it, they're actually the radicals. So we brought something out. Everybody wanted it this way. Everybody felt strongly about it. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody. And every legal scholar wanted it brought back to the states. They brought it back to the states. The states are voting on it right now. A lot of them are voting on it right now. And I must say, Ohio became much more liberal in the sense of that vote. You know that. Kansas, much more liberal. Others, I guess, different. But it brought it back to the people. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it to remain in the federal government. And it won't be in the federal government. It will never be in the federal government. It will be in the states where everybody wanted it. And if you go back and look back 10 years, 15 years, everybody wanted it. Legal scholars, everybody wanted it brought back to the states. And that's where it is.
Do not want abortion rights to be taken away from them. How do you respond to it?
They won't be taken away. They won't be taken away.
Ex-president, so a lot Latin people believe in you, and I know a lot of dreamers right now can work legal. What is your plan with that people that right now works legal in this country because they are?
You mean coming in legal? Oh, we're going to have a process to come in. We want people to come into our country, but they have to come in legally. We don't want people that are murderers, that are drug dealers, coming in from jails. We don't want that. We want people to come in, but we want them to come in through a system legally. And we're going to open that system up. We need people. We need workers. We need a lot of people. And we want them to come into our country, but we don't want to come in from prisons. We don't want gang members that Venezuela gives us the MS-13 gang members. We don't want that.
A cornerstone of your economic proposal is to extend the 2017 tax cuts to lower the corporate rate further. Obviously, you propose no taxes on tips or Social Security benefits. Taken together,
well, I'm reducing taxes. She's increasing taxes. And her increase on corporate taxes and even businesses like this, it's going to drive businesses into other countries. Because, other countries want We have great international corporations. They can go anywhere. They can go into other countries. If they're offered better deals, they'll leave the United States, and that's what she's going to be doing. She'll force businesses, big businesses, to leave with all the jobs and everything else, to leave us, to leave this country and move to Europe and many different places and they're always fighting for our businesses, and many businesses have left. But we don't want that. And if they charge too much on taxes, these businesses, especially the big ones, they're international businesses, they're going to leave the United States. You're going to lose all the jobs, all the income, and we're going to end up being a third world country. And in many ways, because of the bad job that Kamala's done on the border, she was the border czar. Now she's trying to say she wasn't. But she ran the worst operation. I have the endorsement of the border people, the border unions, the ICE, every law enforcement group just about in America has endorsed me. What she's done on the border is so bad and so dangerous for our country, and it's going to ruin our country. We have to stop. We will have 100 million people come in from all over the world, not just South America. And this country will be a whole different place. It'll be a banana republic. But in many cases, when it comes to elections and borders, it already is.
So my question for you, Mr. President.
RFK Jr. has falsely said that the COVID vaccine is the deadliest vaccine ever made. What is your response to that?
Well, I'm going to have to see, because I haven't seen him yet. I'm going to see him in a little while.
Mr. President!
What's happening, President?
An issue here in Southern Nevada, availability of land. One of your policies is saying releasing more federal land, building of houses.
Yeah.
How will you enact that here in Southern Nevada? Because that is a huge issue here in Southern Nevada, and it will be in the coming years.
Well, we want to have land so we can have housing built in certain areas like this area. They don't have the housing. And we have so much land, and we want to put it to use. So we're going to have land released, and on that land we're going to build housing. We're going to have housing built. And it'll be great for Nevada, and it'll be great for other areas too.
I just want to follow up because I didn't ask my question before. So between all of that, between lowering the corporate tax rate, extending tax cuts, and proposing for tax cuts, you propose all that without any changes to entitlement benefits. That's talking about trillions of dollars added to the deficit. How do you plan to pay for it?
Growth. We're going to have tremendous growth. We're going to have tremendous growth. If you remember when I gave the largest tax cuts ever given, we had a much lower rate, but the following year we took in more income. With a lower rate, we took in more income. And companies like Apple and others were bringing money in from Europe and other places. They were bringing in billions of dollars that they would have never brought in except for what I did. Also, just getting back to this other question, like Ronald Reagan before him on the abortion question, I happen to believe in exceptions. I think it's very important, but I say to people, you have to follow your heart. But probably you're at 85% of the people that agree with that in terms of just Republicans. But you have the life of the mother, rape, and incest. I happen to believe in the exceptions. I happen to believe also that the Democrats are the radical ones because they will do abortions and approve abortions in the 9th month, the 8th month, and also after birth, which is basically the execution of the baby in some cases. If you look at Minnesota, they have the right to do that. You have a man now who's running for vice president who signed a bill to sell tampons in boys' bathrooms, okay? Not to sell them, to give them. But the exceptions to me is very important. Some people don't agree, but for the most part, they do. I think it's up to probably 85 or 90%. But if you look at the voting, and it's so interesting to see, this issue is tearing our country apart. And it's really not tearing our country apart anymore because now people get to vote, and they get to vote in their state. And for the most part, they believe in the exceptions, and they want the exceptions. It makes it a much easier way. At the same time, you have to follow your heart. You have to do what's right. But we brought it locally. It'll never be in the federal government again. It should have never been there. And again, for 52 years, from the beginning of Roe v. Wade, people have wanted to get it out. And many presidents have tried. They were unable to do it. And I just want to thank 6 very brave and brilliant Supreme Court justices for doing it. What they did is very good. I'm going to Arizona now, and I'll see you.